All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Brian's on his own here today, so no idea if I'm going to mess this up, but I'll try my best. And of course, got a class to teach here in about 40 minutes, so we'll just try and make this short and sweet for you today. So all right, looks like YouTube's working, so that's encouraging. I like to work off a little chart deck here for you guys. Just sort of summarize everything in a nutshell here. US dollar index, always the best place to start off. And hopefully you guys are seeing some consistency out of this. Top of the range, this is off the daily chart. I think is defined by that gap up top there at 99.11. Bottom of the range, 96.19. Econs came out today in the States, relatively tepid, nothing really overly shocking. Not fall off a cliff. Fed's got lower rates. It's not face rip higher. Fed's got to raise rates, just sort of maybe even we could call it Goldilocks economy kind of right now. Not big surprise to see U.S. dollar index itself is not moving. I think it's really more the individual currency stories. We, of course, talked to you of late about how our little algorithm spat up a nice little sell setup here on the euro from about 110, 650 area. And that algo signal has had its move stopped to scratch level hit. So worst case scenario on the euro, you just walk away at scratch. And I think I've talked to you guys maybe through the Broiler Chicken show, but definitely through the Daily Brief, my site members. I really love the idea of being short and just staying short euro for as long as you possibly can. Because I think that Miss Lagarde will be tested in earnest. So we'll see what happens there. As well too, sort of risk on, risk off, which we'll talk about a bit more in a moment, but the Japanese yen, very difficult to make the case to go and buy Japanese paper right now because of the really, really ridiculously low interest rate that you're going to get from the Japanese. You'd only go and buy it if it's like, oh my God, the American economy is falling off a cliff and I don't want to put my money in Europe. So where am I going to go put my money? I'll put it in the yen. At least that way it'll just stay safe. That clearly is off here. And what I'm worried about, of course, I am a huge fan of yen gold. And I believe that if the yen, as a currency, it leads everything. So if the yen is breaking to new lows, which it clearly has, then we have to start thinking about maybe gold also having to break to new lows. So keep an eye out for that. Unfortunately, that doesn't bode very well. Gold did enjoy a nice little rally yesterday. And, we watched these charts fairly closely. Did a pretty lengthy conversation in the Daily Brief today about trend channels. Really, really negative picture here on the yen. Where could we potentially go? And does that align up with things like midpoints of channels? So, interestingly enough, I don't think it's a mass exit out of Europe right now. I think it's actually a mass exit out of things like yen. And then the gold, same sort of channel. I've had 38.2s. Would really have liked to have seen the market break out. W here through 38.2s, lose this down channel, and then a W on the other side would actually be an outright buy signal. So the fact that we fractaled, then Joby gapped, and yen had just a wicked Joby gap set up there. We actually, interesting enough, opened up right at the gap, and you can see we're down on the day. This is firmer relative to the yen. But if the yen and I think currencies lead everything, this picture here does not bode well for the gold. I did pick up a little gold stock here recently, and I think I just simply told you guys that as long as it holds its recent range, very interested in just owning the stock. But if it loses the lows, I'm out of here. So there's this little Alio. I picked some up here at 81 just the other day. Here it is at 80. And if it loses these lows, you'll hear me talk about, I had to book another loser. That's the way it goes. So our risk on, risk off kind of conversations, with the yen looking as weak as it is, Treasuries really, the econs weren't like overly, incredibly, insanely bullish, but they weren't, fall off a cliff bearish. So as a result, we're actually just getting basically a non-event day in the bonds. And also, too, we have a U.S. Thanksgiving holiday here, so we're kind of pretty much heading into holiday mode. A lot of our Americans on the Daily Brief just weren't around today because they're traveling to loved ones. Stocks continue pressing higher. Crude oil, they had an inventory number on crude. It wasn't a huge number, but what was a big number was the drawdown or the build, in unleaded gasoline. The only caution I would say with that, of course, is that this isn't the driving season, so we should see builds in unleaded gasoline. So I don't think it's having a material effect on crude prices itself, and stocks just keep powering higher, which is just remarkable to watch. Like I said, yen, and of course gold does have that double top. So, if we really do fall out of bed here on the gold and the yen, you can see there's still a bit more room to go here. It felt to me like, honestly, that we were really close to some sort of pivot there. Watching the biggest gold stocks in the world, American Barrick, if it could W out here, I think we actually have something to work with. It's on the other side of trend lines. But you can see it's just stalled. And then the big gold stock indexes themselves, gappy, very sloppy action. We'll see how this goes, but that isn't overly bullish for me, unfortunately. So, still in a bit of wait and see on that gold and silver market. Did have a few metals names that I was interested in. Like I said, I picked up a little bit of this Alia. We'll see how it goes. Outside, upside reversal got me to act. There was also this really interesting little zinc stock that, we won't go there. This is supposed to be a brief summary. Sorry. So, a couple of stock names. Actually, a stock, we had our TRI SOF meeting. I think I was showing you on the screen. This was, the pharma names are just on fire. They're just absolutely going crazy. And another one, and I even mentioned this to you guys yesterday, this CTIC exploded higher here and actually threatened to put in a big-ass weekly W. So he's gone, can't touch him. And, of course, we have all-stars like KPTI just keep rocking it. There are a few names that came out of the meeting last night. One name that we're working bids on right now, this OCX, very interesting looking chart. Maybe look to try and pick up some call options there. And also, too, a stock that we reviewed, which I really like. But, of course, I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just telling you what I'm buying. I really like this One Stop. It's a good tech name. Mountain Man level tag there. Original weekly double bottom level. So I went and picked up a little bit of this stock. As you can see, I've got some bids working to add some more down below. But really love this story there. So, I am doing a little bit of business in the stock market. There's that One Systems. Like I said, I picked up a little bit of him. And these pharma stocks just keep going crazy. Really, it's kind of a lot of fun. But we talked pharma yesterday, so I don't necessarily need to go into that today. Crypto, fascinating level here. It's got me perplexed, actually, because I went through the whole analysis. Cash market, Mountain Man levels were not hit in the cash market, but interestingly enough, they were hit in the forwards markets, on like the casino, for example. So I was really perplexed about that. Was it a setup kind of idea to screw the public? Maybe yes, maybe no. But really interesting war that developed here over the past 4 or 5 days on Bitcoin against that Mountain Man level. Sort of medium-term picture. We had divergences starting to build. Of course, Willie's stupid. This is like 4-hour kind of swing trading kind of thinking. Really good-looking little inverted head and shoulders. What was really cool about this, and it's kind of freaky sometimes when you see this. Let's see if I can go find the chart. I had actually, on the broiler chicken show, I had actually overdrawn. This is kind of what I think is going to happen. And I did this on like the weekend show, and I basically just freehanded. This is what I think we're gonna do, and look how close that was. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. And what was fascinating about this is look at what time this low came in. This is basically the London kill zone on Tuesday, Wednesday. So, I mean, it was just absolutely cliche what they did here. The only thing that was missing out of this is that this low did not hit this reload zone, and it didn't hit this tail low. So that surprised me a little bit there. But anyway, and I actually talked, and actually before we get into this chart, let's just back up a little bit. Weekly charts, higher time frame. Where the hell's that damn... where the hell did all my lines go? Oh, wow, look at all that. Okay, well, we won't talk there. I mean, it is interesting to see the reversal that we had off of this yellow line. I thought I had it on this chart, but it looks like I've messed something up here. But anyway, point that I would just make is weekly charts. Let's see if we can find those damn weekly charts. Here we are. Sorry about that, everyone. Interesting if we connect the dots off of the lows, the reversal there. On Ethereum, if we connect dots off the lows, not hit there just yet. So don't know about ETH just yet. But interesting on Litecoin. Connect the dots off the lows and reversal off of that level. So that's interesting. But remember, like on the Broiler Chicken show, I'd kind of said, 13 EMA on the weekly charts is sitting all the way up here at about 8,500. Same thing on ETH, same thing on Litecoin. So if we could resolve any kind of bullish, we also said look left. This is just one big red candle. If we could get ahead of steam and actually reverse here, there's a pretty good chance that we could have a bit of a rally here. That doesn't mean this is a new bull market, right? V-bottom will have to be tested at some point down the road. But gee whiz, we sure fell an awfully long way. And basically in the lounge and in the daily brief today, I basically called this a dead cat bounce kind of market. Very normal, very typical. If we head on down to a bit lower time frame, this is our swing trader algorithm. It operates off the 4-hour charts. And you can see we got a whole bunch of uber bullish readings here this morning. And the uber bullish reading, in essence, as soon as you get a reading like that, all you got to do is get a market structure signal, something to frame the risk on the trade, and you go with it. So in essence, there's your uber reading. The market actually ran up to a high here, and we were even chatting in the lounge. There were some traders on the site who were shorting against this. But we just simply said, look, if we break this out, you better cover those shorts and get the hell out. Uber says, actually, I want to hunt 4-hour longs, and that's actually a buy signal and a move through that 73.75 there on Stamp. And away we go. And actually, what was kind of cool was I even tweeted all this stuff out as it was happening. This is the lower time frame chart that I was referring to earlier, and you can see on OKCoin. Now, this is the fascinating thing. Is if you actually do that Mountain Man level on OKCoin, it turns out it's 74.02. And you notice 74.03. And this low actually came to 74.02. And then this high, 7,400. And then this high, 73.83. So clearly, Mountain Man level, 61.8 fib, they were basically setting this level up. And really, I would make the argument that a resolution of this, that's that 4-hour picture, we should replicate this range above if this is an inverted head and shoulders, which to all intents and purposes it seems like it is. The only problem that I have with this is, you remember we started off this conversation about a week or two ago talking about wicks and tails and how this is a really dangerous range, and indeed it was extremely dangerous. We didn't really even do anything here over basically the past couple weeks. And there's a very good possibility that they were going to wash the tails, and that's exactly what I think this was. And there's a very good possibility that they have to wash this wick. Remember, there's a whole bunch of trap bulls in here that would desperately like to get out. And notice if we go A, B, C off of this funny, mysterious low here. CD, that takes us right up into that wick. Doink. So I'm a little concerned. Like I said, we've already popped here. I did this chart up before the breakout and just simply said, look, at a move above 7,400 is our tell. We've gone through there. But the problem is, do you want to chase the market in here, considering how close we are to that AB equals CD? And really what I was suggesting on the site today is, maybe you swing trade that algo. It's a pretty big setup, so you got to be able to handle a bit of risk on that. But I'm kind of thinking right now, if you got in on this move, great. But look at that. You can already start to see we're getting shooting stars. So we're already starting to see some of these bulls getting released as we speak here. My hunch is this maybe even works its way up and forms like a divergence up into this level. And then I'd be really careful on the other side of this. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. That was a V bottom. Funny level, right? Really mysterious level. Notice reload zone, if we do top out at this AB equals CD, is basically going to take us back and wash that low again. But it's encouraging. At least we have some lows to work with and some sort of buying interest down at these levels. So encouraging. To finish off the video today, I'd actually put out a tweet because I really want, just to, don't go chase moon. This is not that kind of market right now. And so I put out lots of messages saying, hey, you know what? The trends are still down. You can go and bottom hunt. That's great. But if the lows lose, you better get the hell out of there. So what I was very curious about this morning is I did see public tweets from the Tron guy, Justin Sun, saying that building out business infrastructure, the future for Tron looks very bright. And I noticed that there's the original weekly double bottom. They brought the market right down into that low, rallied it away, brought it into that low again, and now we're trying to form an inside bar reversal. That's pretty encouraging. If you have your coins that are holding these lows and they're starting to paint things like reversal bars, pay attention. And then also this other one, this NEO. Remember, I'm looking at these versus US dollar. Try to avoid versus Bitcoin so you can remove some of that volatility from the price. US dollar is relatively stable. And here's another situation where basically, sloppy bottom, but nonetheless a bottom, rally, pull back against the lows held, and now we're trying to W out here. If we can W and get back up above through here, then I think this guy's got something to work with. So there are very interesting names in this space. And, if you are a bottom hunter and you can manage yourself by stepping in against low ends of ranges and taking risk, well, I actually think there's some opportunity out there. Okay, everybody, I think I'll leave it at that. Got to hop and do class. So have yourselves a great day. I hope you enjoyed that presentation, gave you some ideas to think about. Remember, this is not financial advice. Simply telling you what I'm doing with my money, and hopefully you can pick up a tidbit here and there and help your own trading. And of course, if you're watching this from new and you're like, oh my God, this is a whole new world, I really would like to participate, but I have the slightest idea where to start. The whole point of our school is to basically take everybody who has no idea what they're doing in the market and help them build a small business of trading. So consider that if you do like my approach, you like the systematic sort of approach, risk management focus, process focused approach to running your portfolio, maybe consider joining our community. We do have little free trials, so you can always sort of give our lounge. Great place. Love chatting in there on a daily basis. Awesome ideas regularly from our members. Also, we have a new school term coming up in the new year, so give you lots of heads up notice for that. If you'd like to book a seat, you might as well get your name on the list before all the seats are gone. So, okay, have yourselves a great day, everybody. Thanks a lot. All the best, and bye for now.